I run the same ads as my competitors, but they get better results. The amount of times that I've heard this from one of my students or someone in my school community, I would be, I'd probably have like $120 or something. Let's just put it that way. Look, the reason why your competition gets better results with the exact same ads is what's going to be covered in this video. I'm going to explain exactly how to think about ads and exactly how to think about the marketing business as a whole when doing our own paid acquisition, so that in the future we never have to worry about what our competition is doing. We're ahead of the game. In fact, they're looking at us. We're getting the leads. We're getting qualified appointments. We're making sales. We're increasing our MRR, and we're getting clients that ultimately pay us more. Okay? If that's what you want, then keep watching. So let's address the elephant in the room. Why is it that I'm making this video? My name is Hamza. I grew my agency to $2 million, and I eventually automated it, traveled the world for 5 years with my wife and my kids, moved to Panama, which is where I am right now. I exited the agency, which was for local ads for roofing contractors, and now I have a boutique agency where I only work with brands doing $100 million plus. Okay, I work on their paid ads, specifically on Meta, specifically call booking funnels. That's where I specialize. It's what I spend every single day, every day, thinking about, working on, talking about, teaching about. So you're in good hands over here. So with that said, why is it that they're running ads that look exactly the same, and then when we run the ads, we don't get great results? Okay, so there's actually a lot of factors that we can't see. The most obvious ones being, after the sales call is booked, what actually happens? How good are their sales reps? What are they actually selling on the back end? And then what's the fulfillment process looking like? And then ultimately, what exactly is the customer experience like? You see, there's a lot more to advertising than the ad itself. And a lot of people don't understand that. You see, there's something that's known as the economics of a business, okay? And the economics are very simply, well, how much can you afford to pay to acquire a customer, knowing that later on they're going to buy things from you? So if I knew that I had $100,000 worth of stuff to sell someone, you bet I'd be willing to spend $5, $10, $15,000 to acquire them. It adds up. I'm in the future, I'm going to win. I'm going to make money off them, right? And so oftentimes we are looking for the cheapest leads, the cheapest cost, instead of actually looking at our value ladder, our economics, and then saying, hey, how can we boost this up? So generally when that objection even comes up that my competitors are running the same ads, but I'm paying more per lead, I'm paying more per result, you got to ask yourself first and foremost, after realizing you don't know what their economics are, you don't know what their back end looks like, can your economics sustain that cost per lead or cost per appointment? And if yes, then keep freaking running it. The other thing that I realized over time is that when I would always speak to my competitors and focus on their ads and look at their stuff, I would have a very, very skewed image. Even if I talked to them directly and they told me, yeah, we're getting $100 leads. How many times have you experienced people saying one thing? How many times have you said one thing? Just be honest, right? How many times have you said one thing and the truth was something else? You just boosted it by like 20%. 50% to make it a little bit better, make it sound a little, because we're always constantly afraid of being inadequate, to the point where there's literally a story of a friend told me about this, where they were at like a cabin, and these dudes, they were literally talking about, excuse me for this topic, but they were talking about the size of their schlongs. And the one guy was like, yeah dude, I'm packing a, whatever, like 7 inches, right? And Aaron's like, damn, bro, for real. And then the guy who told me about the story overheard the same guy who said he's got a 7-inch schlong say in another conversation that and this is like he overheard this, but the guy was insecure that he had like a 4-inch schlong. So do you see how that works? He like almost doubled what the truth actually was. And this is not a slight on any of us, right? Like as men, we want to compete, we want to be better. We're not really satisfied with where we are, and in many ways we shouldn't be, right? We should continue to push forward. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the numbers that we get from our competition on how they're doing to gauge as a benchmark for ourselves really only ends up being a diversion in most cases, right? Like I have never experienced someone who is actually my competition be 100% truthful and honest with me. So everything you hear, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Everything. Okay, and the following thing that I would say then is when it comes to actually running ads that, you know, don't fatigue or that get great costs, are better than your competitors, it would be to understand the avatar at a very, very deep, intimate level. Okay, I have started transcribing all sales calls and putting them through, you know, AI, and then having the AI synthesize the main, you know, pain points, fears, etc., talking points from there, and continue to add on to an avatar document and continue to iterate and improve my understanding of what the pain points are. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it could just be that your competition struck a nerve with the market and you can learn from that. But how can you on repeat strike nerves is by understanding their language, how they speak, how they think, how they see, how they hear the world around them, the business around them. Okay. Really, the next thing that I want to mention is that your competition may just be conveying more confidence in their offer, right? Oftentimes when we look at our competition, we're going to look at the competition that's doing better than us. So when I would look at my competition, I'd be like, damn, bro, like he's saying this in his ad and I'm saying the same thing, but it's got different results. And it's so true that I found, for example, the energy with which I speak, even on this right now, I would hope that you can tell the way that I'm speaking that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I've been in this game for the last decade now. I know direct response, I know marketing, I know this really, really well. But someone else talking about the same thing on a different YouTube channel or an ad, you may not feel the same degree of conviction. The same way when AI ads are used, I've tried a lot of AI ads, saying like my winning script, my control. And for some reason, they don't do nearly as well. In fact, they flop. And I run an ad that's just shot off the cuff, like in my office somewhere, and then it crushes. Well, it's because of the way in which we articulate ourselves as well. The confidence with which we have on camera, the way in which we're speaking has a very, very, very big impact on the way people receive our message. So let's just recap what we've gone over so far before I get into really the final, the crux of what it is that I want to say. We've gone over the fact that our competition may just straight up be lying about their results. We can't see the back end of our competition's business, which is what ends up making them the profit and the money. Third one is that we need to focus on, rather than dropping our CPL, we need to improve the economics of our business. Right? The fourth thing that we mentioned was essentially that, you know, we got to make sure that we understand our prospects better than everyone, and we learn to continuously strike a nerve with them. And this ties into some of the other trainings I've done on this channel, right? Like having evergreen ads. It really comes down to helping them understand why their problem is even a problem in the first place, like how it came to be. It's kind of like when you go to a doctor and he says to you that, yeah, you have, like, they know they have back pain, the patient, they say, yeah, I'm confirming you have back pain. But then when they explain to you, like, hey, you're sitting at a desk for, 8 to 9 hours a day, you're not getting up and stretching, and what ends up happening is that your muscles, they contract in that position, and when you stand up, it actually starts making your muscles expand beyond their, like, now newfound default, and that stretch causes you pain, and it actually sends some, like, pain down to your nerves, and you feel numbness. Yeah, that's why. And you bought this chair that you thought is going to be so good for you sitting long term. Well, actually, this chair is what's causing your back to curve in this manner, which then gives you this back pain, and you're just like, didn't know that. I trust you more, Mr. Doctor. You see, if you can continuously learn how to help people help your prospects understand their world, things that are unconscious to them, then at the end of it, you're not going to focus on your competition. Like once I started running paid ads and started to own my own results, so I stopped using tactics and strategies that were taught by gurus that were just shared with me, or I funnel hacked people. When I stopped doing that and I sat down and I read and I studied great direct response marketers, what ended up happening is I started realizing, holy, okay, I can do this. The more I started believing in myself that I can do this, I can advertise, I started creating the kind of ads on Facebook for my niche as a marketer that no one was doing. And that's exactly what I'm teaching in my free school community. If you want to get in there, get on calls with me every single week where I will literally review your ads for free on obviously a group coaching level as a part of the community, then join the school community. Link is in the description or the first comment. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you on the next one.